Sorry about that pause. So the legs on this are metal, so they're like chrome or something. So they're very reflective. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with a layer of the RJ150 over the entire armature of the base of the chair. Anytime you're doing this, whoopsie, I just messed up. You can use a straight edge if you want, if you feel like you want to get it a little bit straighter. But like I said, it's pretty forgiving, so we can always come back and tighten things up a little bit later, even if we're not using, I hardly ever use a ruler. Okay, now I'm going to take my lightest brown, which is BR2, and I'm going to color this whole thing in, including going over the parts I already colored. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the which one? Oh yeah, sorry. The CG070 to put some of the reflective areas into the chrome legs. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with the YR10, and I'm going to tighten up the chair a little bit. So where there are seams, that's a good place. You could have like a hard-edged line where one surface meets another. And there's always these moments when you're pushing it around and you're losing some of the structure of your form, but you can always bring that back in by going a little bit darker in some areas and laying off some other areas. Okay, so I am gonna color the whole thing once again with my BR2. now I'm gonna go even darker with my R28. I want to get into these seams with a little bit darker color so we can see where one surface is hitting another surface. And then I'll probably do this too. Just fan it in from the edge, because a little, more light will hit the front than the back. Going to darken up a little bit with the BR2, just to, no, sorry, not that one, with the YR 10, just because I want like some of these seams to sort of retreat back, because they will have some puffy form that happens because there's tufting. Okay, I think I'll be done with the markering for this, and then I'm going to go in with the colored pencils. The colored pencils are very important because when you have like messy outlines that sort of bleed out, or it's a little too choppy, going back in with the colored pencils allows to tighten up the form, but also if you use the side of the pencils, you can create something that looks a little more textured. So for this, I am going to use a straight edge because I messed up down here a little bit, went out of the lines. So I'm going to use my black pencil and get a really sharp line on the bottom of this. I hate doing rulers, I'm not going to lie about that. So, okay, and then I'm going to do it over on this side too. And then I'll do it on the back side of the leg here. And then I want to use the colorless blender before I do any more with the pencil. If you use the colorless blender over pencil too much, it'll get kind of sticky. So I just want to smooth up some of these brush marks. Now, the colorless blender can't really mix colors. Like, you couldn't use your colorless blender to take yellow and red and make orange. What it does do is smooth, and it kind of takes up some of the pigment. So if you feel like you've got a lot of brushy strokes that you don't like, you can use the colorless blender to sort of smooth them out. I personally do kind of like something that has a little more brush stroke in it, particularly with floors and things like hair, all that kind of thing. I think the texture is nice, but when we're trying to do something that looks like leather, I might want to smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so now reflections. I'd encourage you to look up, like Google, look up pictures of things that are made out of chrome. They reflect white, lots of grays, and blacks. So you want to, it's really sort of exact how chrome tends to work. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my brown pencil, and I'm just going to tighten up the seams here. And again, you can do this, you can use your straight edge anytime you want to do this too. All right. The other thing, I'm going to take the side of my pencil and I'm just going to sort of add a little bit of texture in here. Just make it this kind of looking like aging leather. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do is use my white pencil to bring in some of the edges. So I want to kind of bring this back a little bit. And you don't want, you know, we're not going to do like a whole contour line around everything, but where we have an edge or a seam, you want to bring that highlight back in. And then because the light's shining like this, on the parts that are sticking out, like the tufting parts, I might want to add a little bit of white texture to that too, which will soften it, but it'll also make it seem a little more dimensional. So I failed to put in the cast shadow, but what would happen is if it's coming from like the front and above, you could imagine it going like this. Something like that. And I'll just do it with a gray marker. But whenever if you're doing cast shadows on the floor of something or on another thing, the shadow would be the color of, you know, a darker version of whatever that floor looked like, or wall, or whatever was casting a shadow on. I should have done this before I did my pencil marking, but I forgot. All right, so I think I would hit this up with a little bit of black, just so it feels solidly sitting on the floor. But there you have it.